The aim of the Caribbean Small Commercial Vessel Code is to prescribe standards of construction and emergency equipment for small commercial vessels operating in the Caribbean region. The SCV Code does not apply to fishing or pleasure vessels. The SCV Code does not apply to vessels holding a valid International Passenger Ship Safety Certificate issued under SOLAS. The SCV Code does not apply to vessels holding a Caribbean Cargo Ship Safety Certificate. The SCV Code does not apply to vessels of a foreign country, whose government has inspection laws approximating those of this code, which is on board a current valid certificate of inspection. Unless otherwise specified, the code applies to both new and existing vessels. Where the Small Commercial Vessel Code refers to the administration, they mean the maritime administration of a country. We also call it the flag state because it is the administration of the country of the flag the boat is flying and registered in. For Trinidad registered vessels, the administration is the Maritime Services Division of the Ministry of Works and Transport. Chapter 1 of the SCV Code gives details of the general provisions, including the application and interpretation, of the code. Chapter 2 provides details about the requirements for watertight openings on vessels and hull paint. Chapter 3 provides details about the requirements for watertight integrity and stability of vessels. Chapter 4 provides details about the requirements for the vessel's machinery, including steering and propulsion systems, as well as built-in electrical systems. Chapter 5 provides details about the requirements for the vessel's fire extinguishing and detecting equipment. Chapter 6 provides details about the requirements for the vessel's life-saving equipment. Chapter 7 provides details about the requirements for the vessel's navigation, communication and anchoring equipment. Chapter 8 provides details about the requirements for the vessel's emergency preparedness. Chapter 9 provides details about the requirements for the vessel's accommodation, manning and hours of work and rest for crew. Chapter 10 provides details about the requirements for boatmaster and boat engineer licenses. The annexes provide further details about the requirements of the SCV Code. The SCV Code refers to a vessel in commercial use and means carrying cargo or passengers for reward on any voyage or excursion. It does not include fishing vessels. The SCV Code describes a fishing vessel as a vessel used or intended to be used for fishing for profit and does not include vessels used for the carriage of passengers used for sport fishing. The SCV Code does not apply to fishing or pleasure vessels. The SCV Code defines a ferry as a vessel that operates only in protected waters, has provisions only for deck passengers or vehicles, or both, and operates on a short run on a scheduled service between two or more places. The SCV Code states a passenger vessel is a vessel, other than a pleasure vessel, carrying more than 12 passengers. Any person carried in a vessel except a person employed or engaged in any capacity on board the vessel or a child under 1 year of age. The SCV Code defines a seafarer as any person who is employed or engaged or works in any capacity on board a vessel to which the code applies. Seafarer accommodation is an accommodation space designated for the use of seafarers which passengers are not allowed to occupy. The SCV Code defines overnight accommodation as a space or spaces for use by passengers or by seafarers which is one or more berths, including beds or bunks, for passengers or seafarers to rest for extended periods. Overnight accommodations do not include spaces, which contain only seats, including reclining seats. The SCV Code defines protected waters as being 3 miles from a safe refuge. The SCV Code describes a safe refuge as a port, inlet or other body of water normally sheltered from heavy seas by land presenting no special hazards and into which a vessel can safely navigate and where the persons on board can disembark into safety. The suitability of a location as a safe refuge is as determined by the administration. The SCV Code defines exposed waters as any waters that are more than 20 nautical miles from a harbor or safe refuge, or those other waters which are so designated by the administration. The code defines coastal waters as an area designated as such by an administration in respect of its territorial seas and contiguous zone, but which does not in any case extend to more than 20 nautical miles from a harbor or safe refuge. Where an administration has not designated an area, it means an area not more than 20 nautical miles from a safe refuge. Territorial waters, as defined by the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, as a belt of coastal waters extending at most 12 nautical miles from the mean low water mark. Territorial waters are regarded as sovereign territory of the state. The contiguous zone is a band of water extending from the outer edge of the territorial sea to up to 24 nautical miles from the baseline, within which a state can exert limited control for the purpose of preventing or punishing infringement of its customs, fiscal, immigration or sanitary laws and regulations within its territory or territorial sea. The Caribbean trading area is bounded by a line from a point on the east coast of the United States of America in latitude 35 degrees north, to a point 5 degrees south, 33 degrees west. Thence to a point 10 degrees south, 33 degrees west. Thence to a point on the coast of Brazil in latitude 10 degrees south. Thence northward along the coast of continental America to a point in latitude 35 degrees north, on the east coast of the USA. The Code defines an international voyage as a voyage between one country and a port outside that country.